You know, I thought you might all be sick of the troll related content, so I thought I'd make another troll. It's got a bag with a hooble gooble stuffed inside, and of course some cheeks. I want to try and paint this quickly. I thought I'd spend this video doing it. This primer, Army Painter Hydra Turquoise, it's what I've primed a lot of my models in, just because I got it for a specific reason. I forgot what reason, but I have it. My Garuda, again, still not painted. I did do some experiments though, with some contrast paints I have. I added a bit of Super Matte Medium, and I just did a few tests to see what the result was. So I think for this model, I'm going to go with this dark turquoise Storm Fiend. Now, looking at the original troll I did, where I used that same primer colour to guide the general tone of the rest of the miniature. Even in the shadows on, you can see the loincloth, which is a bone colour. I've used blue in the shadows on it, which is an artistic choice. And I think it only really works if you have a cohesive style across an entire army. I'm going to do something similar-ish for this new troll. If you're 3D printing a painting handle, then try and get one printed in TPU, because then you get a bit of a squish and it's much more comfortable. It's not totally matte, but the shininess has gone down a little bit, so I'll feel better about missing areas, because on the other troll, it might not be super obvious, but on this troll, the places where I've left the primer to show through are just a little bit too shiny. You can only really tell in certain lighting, but it just kind of annoys me a bit. Now, I am quite a messy painter, but you know, sometimes you've got to embrace that style, and that's the approach I took to my last model. I treated it like a canvas. There's obvious brush strokes on it, and that's okay. To be honest, I don't usually use a large brush like this because I'm quite clumsy. And if you're not careful, these can soak up way too much water. These Vallejo paints bubble, there's too much water in the mix, which isn't the end of the world, but it's kind of annoying if you don't know how to manage it. All the paints I'm using are from the updated Vallejo game colour range. I've got a Evil Red, which is a cooler purpley red. That's in the shadowy areas, and Nocturnal Red. That is the general undercoat, which is the same as the previous troll I did. I'm using a bone white, tiny bit of verdigris in there, turquoise, and abyssal turquoise for the deepest blue. It doesn't quite make sense apart from as an artistic decision, and I'm just messing around until it kind of feels right. If I could give some advice to my younger self when it comes to painting in the hobby, it would be to try things like this at an earlier stage, because I think quite early on into the hobby we're taught to paint in a certain way. I think if I'd experimented more with this when I was younger, then I would have been at a much better level of painter right now. I threw a lot of random colours down my palette. Greens and purples and blues and like earthy colours and stuff, just to make the wood a little bit more interesting. The base, I just put a bit of dark brown, and just under him I've got a dark blue as well. A little bit of the blue shows through the basing material. I guess it complements the shadow colours on the model itself. You know, it's arguable whether it will really matter that much, but I just thought I'd do it anyway. So using this triad of turquoises, it's abyssal turquoise, turquoise and aquamarine, combined with just a little bit of bile green, there's still so much of the base colour showing through that is still doing the heavy lifting, and I am just haphazardly, with big broad brush strokes, just getting that green colour on top. So for areas like the tongue and the lips and the thin bits of skin, like the elbows, I generally use succubus skin, Athena skin, rosy flesh. For the elbows and areas like that, I will mix it with some glaze medium. I ended up adding a little bit of an extra greeny yellow highlight to the top of the model. I just think it improves the contrast a lot more. Now I'm just roughly doing the nails on these little feetsies. They've got to finish the eyes, and that's probably all I'm going to do, because the whole point of this was to get it done quick. I'm now using a 00 brush, which is tiny, so I'm using some airbrush flow improver, which just gives me a little bit of extra drying time. Is it perfect? No, it's not. I hate it. It's fine. It's acceptable. And I think this is a good example of how you can speed paint things without relying on speed paints. As you can see, the base color, the prime color, is still very much the prominent color. It's the shadow color. I've not painted over it in some areas. And even though you might say the bag here and the cloth looks a bit weird on its own, but in the context of the whole model, the whole paint scheme, that turquoise just brings it all together, I think. Another reason why this is a speed paint kind of technique, because you're using this initial prime color to do a lot of the heavy lifting, you know, you don't have to be neat when you're like painting between two elements, like the rope on the bag. There's a clear blue line between those parts, and you know, on a glance it looks terrible. It looks clumsy, but also that's the shadow color, so it also makes sense. It's acceptable in the context of the whole piece. It works. Let's ignore the fact I'm lazy. So painting like this affords you these flexibilities, which speeds up the whole process. This is so saturated. I mean, it's the color range I have, it's game color. Like, all the paints are quite saturated. It's almost radioactive, but it's fine. It's fine. Maybe seeing this method was helpful to some people. I'd like to think I could paint better, and I will put more effort into some other things. Sometimes you just gotta get things done. Speaking of which, you know, Golden Demon was recently, and I've never ever considered entering Golden Demon. You know, sometimes I'm pessimistic, sometimes I'm quite an optimist, and I like a challenge. So I kind of like the idea of painting something for a competition and actually taking my time over, you know, many months to get it done. Because I think if I've got the time, I can do something pretty decent. It's more for a personal kind of challenge for me. I don't expect to win anything at all, especially if I paint like that. But yeah, if I take my time, then maybe, who knows. Anyway, I'm gonna base this and then do some glamour shots, I guess. It's just occurred to me I've got chalk all over my hat from climbing, so just try and ignore that. And that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching this. Maybe this wasn't as interesting as hand sculpting stuff, which I think maybe is something people are more interested in seeing, which I'm going to do more of. But thanks for being here anyway, and you know, do all the usual stuff if possible, like and subscribe and share if you like, or not. Do all those nice things for someone else today. Support small artists, support local artists. The reason for the gap between videos is because I've been doing a lot of writing and I haven't really been making things video worthy. But hopefully I'll try and get back on track for next week. And hopefully I can share some more interesting things with you soon. We'll see. Okay, until next time, love you, bye.